Oh
That's crazy.
I love starting the stream when Lane is in the middle of talking, when Chris is showing his little life-size Lego UPS truck.
Life-size UPS truck.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 118. I did say that Gio, the movie canon, was going to be with us tonight, but unfortunately, he was not able to make it. There was a last-minute cancellation. He feels really bad about it, which is what I would have said if he wasn't able to make it, because we got Gio, the movie canon, in the house. Gio, it's so great to have you, my friend.
Gio!
All the movie canon fans, when they start funneling in and they see that, dude, they're going to be disappointed. I had to troll them a little bit. But, Gio, so great to have you here, my friend. I talk about you all the time on stream. You know that. I love your streams. I feel like you put so much more effort into it than I do. And it's really appreciated. Really appreciated, dude. I think you do such a great job on your stream, and you try so hard and put in so much effort to be unique. And I think you do a great job at it, especially your channel memberships. I think it's just the coolest thing ever. So, Gio, thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Thank you. It's an honor to for you to invite me, Connor. So thank you so much, and it's nice streaming with you guys. First time that I stream with the legend Lane. So
oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, first time. And then I've streamed with Mr. Chris a couple of times before, so it's nice to stream with him again. And then, of course, you, Connor. Thank you so much for the invites. Will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Gio, I think both Chris and I have a fantasy figure realized over on your stream now.
I was just about to say
as of this week. As of this week, perfect timing.
Today.
Yeah, perfect timing. So, yeah, I got my Mr. Freeze. I was telling Gio the other day, like, I still can't believe that that's a thing. I'm so happy that happened. And now Artisan Obi-Wan. So, very exciting. Really cool stuff. And, of course, guys, as always, Mike will be joining us very shortly. We have Lane, the legendary Lane Kramer. If you don't know him, get to know him. And then we've got Chris, the Collecting Madness. Guys, it's great to be back here with you this week. As you know, yes, drop a like if you haven't already as you guys funnel in. Of course, we'll say what's up to everybody, guys. Say what's up in the chat. We'll say what's up as you guys all come through. A lot of exciting, especially Star Wars, mostly Star Wars stuff this week. So because of that, of course, we're going to start with the non-Star Wars, but something still very exciting has been released. So we're going to start with that, of course. But yeah, great week to be a Star Wars, a great couple of months to be a Star Wars collector. Holy crap. You know, we thought May the 4th was a lot, and then we just got hit with even more. And then we got ACG HK around the corner. 1/6 lovers just reminded me last night we got ACG HK in July. I think it's July or August. Really exciting.
You know, coming around the mountain when they come.
Yeah, so we get a brief break. It's been a quiet week thus far. I was actually expecting something last night. I could just feel it, and I guess I felt wrong.
I will not be surprised if we don't see that Jedi Revan probably pop up.
Yeah. I mean, usually with those teases, at least lately,
because it's an easy mode figure. They're basically just redoing the
and
one
Lane
they did before.
Hopefully, Lane, now that I have my Black Series Malik, they can deliver us the 1/6.
You and Will classification are like Darth Malik.
I know, dude. Now, unfortunately, the Black Series one, you can't show his disgusting mouth under the mouthpiece.
Oh yeah, that was talk about
that was a very shocking moment.
What moments from Coder 1?
Yeah, guys, if you don't know this, Malik is really missing his lower jaw, so it looks disgusting when the little
literally
piece
the
comes
entire
off.
lower jaw.
Yeah, it's gross. But it was also a really fun moment. But so hopefully, if Hot Toys does them, which I think they will, hopefully they add that feature in. Which I'm hopeful, because they did do a sculpt. They did do a sculpt for what am I thinking of, Lane? Malgus. They did a sculpt for Malgus, so I'm hopeful. But guys, we're going to say what's up to everybody in the chat, and then we're going to get started. Like I said, we're going to start with something non-Star Wars, because we got a lot of Star Wars to talk about, and it's still something very exciting this week that released. We got my boy, Brick Artemis, in the chat. Very first one. Brick says, let's go. What's up, my dude? Brick, thank you so much for being here, my friend, always. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. Brick is my guy. He's a good friend. He's an absolute lad. And Brick's always coming to me with some really cool ideas. He had a pretty cool idea to share with me earlier today, and I joked with him. He was like, "Don't say anything yet, because we don't know if it'll happen." I was like, "I'm going to tell everybody." So of course I won't let it slip yet. But Brick, thank you so much for being here, my friend. We got the GOAT, Valkyrie Magnus, in the house, a channel member, a hotline hottie, and a moderator. Valk, thank you so much for being here as always, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I talk to Valk all the time. He's always sending me some hilarious usually Star Wars related stuff on Instagram and stuff. Valk is that dude. I absolutely love this guy. Valk, thank you so much for being here, my friend. We got Chris saying what's up to everybody. As Gio would say, warming up the chat. Got to use a Gio term since he's here. We got Payton23 in the house, a moderator, the absolute master of gifts. If you guys are in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group chat, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. I love this. Clone Trooper in the house. Clone Trooper says, calibrate your enthusiasm. It's a Hot Toys Hotline stream. You could either calibrate it up or calibrate it down. I don't know. I guess it depends on the type of person you are, right? Thank you so much for being here, as always, Clone Trooper. I very much appreciate it. We got the GOAT, the OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars, or OG as I call him. OG is a channel member, longtime channel member, and a moderator. Telling you guys the truth here. Like, share, subscribe, not only to myself, but everybody else in the description, including Gio, because I actually remembered this time to put our guests in the description. So, guys, if you haven't already, check out Gio's channel and Chris's channel, and just enjoy seeing Lane, because Lane's everywhere. He's everywhere. But thank you so much for being here, OG, my friends. We got Boba Fettuccine in the house, another channel member and a good friend. Boba, what's up, my dude? Boba says, hey, all, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well. We got Fig Poser in the house. My dude, what's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here, as always. Let's see. Who else we got? We got Gabriel. Gabriel says, good evening, gents. What's up, my dude? Thank you so much for being here, Gabriel. I hope you're doing well. Always great to see you. Gabriel is in the Facebook group chat, and he just cracks me up. I love that guy. So thank you so much for being here, my friend. Let's see who else we got. As always, guys, if I miss you, let me know. I will say hi to you throughout the stream. We got my boy Robert in the house, another channel member, an all-around great guy. Fielderburn says, well. Hello, fellows. Hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Always great to see you. Thank you for joining us after we had a break last week. Like I said, guys, I kind of warned you. I'm like, my birthday was the day before. I might be doing something on the day after. And I did end up doing it, so I appreciate you guys, as always, for being patient with me. We got Noon Tune. I love that name, Noon Tunes. What's up, Noon Tunes? Noon Tunes says, hey, everyone, it's time for fun. Yes, it is. We're going to have a great time. Like I said, you guys know I'm a big Star Wars fan. A lot of us on the panel love Star Wars, so it's going to be fun to talk about the Star Wars stuff, especially. Revenge of the Sith stuff specifically is very, very exciting. Brick said, thanks, Hotline. Of course, dude. I was just, I had to tease you a little bit. Let's see. We got Batman Collectibles in the house. So Batman Collectibles, since I'm reading your name now, that is the first figure we're going to talk about, that BVS 2.0. So thank you so much for being here, Batman Collectibles. He has an evening hotline panel. BVS Batman 2.0 just arrived. Excited to see it for myself. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I actually just, speaking of Batman, I just opened my 89 Batmobile from Jazz Inc. And it's really awesome, man. I really love it. It's deceptively large. Like, I have the 2022, and that's still a big vehicle. But, the fins on the back of that 89 just make it so much bigger. I can't even imagine owning like the 97 or the 95 Batmobile. Those are massive, massive vehicles. I think it's the 97 everybody's like petitioning for right now, right? In Jazz Inc. I think that's the one everybody's asking for.
I want to get the animated series. Like, I'm trying to make it work somehow, but
Gio, I just pre-ordered it, dude, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Stop putting it off. I pre-ordered the cell shaded version. I didn't hate the prototype that he just showed, like the actual physical prototype. I think the paint job could be a little bit better, but the actual like body and the engine bay and everything, freaking awesome, dude. So cool. And obviously we have the pre-orders coming up very soon for the Batman the Animated Series Batman figures,
Friday.
Both of them. Yeah. And then I think like all in a span of the same day, right? I think he's doing Penguin, the Tumbler, and the BTS Batman. So really, really exciting. I cannot wait for that. I'm definitely picking up the animated version. That was the one I was gunning for.
Yeah. So
I do like the other one, but it's just not accurate. I want the most accurate as possible Batman, so that's what I'm going for. For the GOAT, Kevin Conroy. I saw someone saying, I guess Chris saw a particular someone in the chat. I saw someone saying that they didn't really care about the voice actor. So, because Yost was asking about like a signed version. And they were like, I don't really care about voice actors. I just want the figure. And I'm like, a tear streamed down my face. I'm like, the GOAT, Kevin Conroy, man.
So I just realized something, Connor, when you mentioned the animated Batman animated series figure from Jazz Inc. That's another fantasy figure, realize. As of Friday.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, because the second time you were on the show, that was your fantasy figure, realize.
Dude,
so another one.
I got to keep coming on, dude. Just make this stuff happen. That's crazy. Right? I completely forgot that was my second one and my second appearance. That's what I said. Hey, so you already know I was pre-ordering that, guys. I think it's a given. But I love Batman the Animated Series. I know Gio loves Batman. A lot of you guys do. It's just, there's no show like it. And I think at the time it was underappreciated, and it's aged like fine wine, and the fan base for it is just incredible. And to see all these collectibles, and like Yost is doing Robin and Joker. And I made a little comment in Yost in the Jazz Inc. group to Yost, and I said it would be pretty cool if you get a Mark Hamill signature edition for. I mean, it'd be pretty damn expensive, but how cool would that be? Reverse Zeo in the house, Big Dog Pound. I would hope that Chris disappeared to get his belt, but he hasn't come back. So I'm sure at some point. Oh, there he is.
Oh wow.
Okay, I did not expect that. He went all out, so he's got everything. All right, so we got to pull Chris up here. Hold on a second. I'm not gonna lie, Lane. For a second, I thought that was literally just Chris. Hold on a second. I'm all discombobulated here. All right, Chris, here you go. He's muted. I'll unmute you. There you go.
It is time. Vader and WWE? Who knew? But we got Big Dog Pound in the house. It's weird talking with this big thing on my head, but welcome in the chat, Big Dog Pound. Woo!
I did not expect him to come back with all that stuff.
Oh,
I just expected the belt.
What you gonna do, brother?
But Big Dog Pound, woo! What's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Reverse Zeo, I think I said hi to you. We got assistant to the regional Sith. The profile picture.
That is
profile
the best
picture, dude.
Thumbnail ever.
Yes. Oh, agree. Oh, man. So we're actually going to talk about this, Malekith. Just wait. We're going to talk about this. That is a topic of tonight, is what else we want to see from Revenge of the Sith. So hold that thought, but Gree is one of them. I've mentioned it a couple times. Got to see Gree, man. And, of course, Pedro Lopez. I saw him say what's up. I already knew we were going to see something else from the hashtag hotline confirmed. I guess we could use that for the Batman the Animated Series Batman. We'll use that. Hashtag hotline confirmed. It's happening. But, guys, as always, if I missed you, not ignoring you on purpose. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. We're going to get started. So, kind of prematurely brought it up here, but guys, we're talking about, and big shout out, by the way, guys, as always, to the Figure Hideout. I really love this guy's reviews. I think he does such a great job, and it's so awesome to see a reviewer working directly with Hot Toys, and his review space is just incredible. He posted pictures of it. I've mentioned this before, but at first, when I saw the release photos, the sculpt was looking a little bit rough, but after seeing it in hand and seeing it in some of these photos, I think it's pretty good. It's not something I would ever personally use, but I don't think the sculpt is awful. I just think it's just not fitting for this version of Batman, for me personally.
Murder Man here.
Right, yeah, the whole warehouse scene with the sniper rifle and everything. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are going to want to recreate.
This is Murder Man,
right. Maybe we should skip over this. I don't know if it's going to... What was that, dude? Is that like his intro he's doing here? I don't know what that was. But anyways, guys, obviously Hot Toys took some design liberties with this. He is a bit on the bulkier side, a bit bulkier than Ben Affleck was in this particular film. But with that being said, I love how it looks. It kind of has that very Frank Miller-esque inspiration, which is, an inspiration for Zack Snyder for this version of Batman. Let's bring that back up, Lane. He is absolutely a bulk monster.
This is brick wall suit Batman, because holy mackerel, he is.
And ironically, Lane, he comes with a brick wall. But you can see, I own both of these figures, so I could tell you this is hilarious to see how massive he really is. I will say, I'm very happy with the color of the suit, because Hot Toys made the first suit like a black or like a gunmetal gray. I don't know what you would even call that. It was very dark. And a lot of customizers obviously were repainting it and making it gray. So it's awesome to see they got the color right. Again, seeing the sculpt in hand, or I should say in hand photos. I don't have it in hand. But in some in hand photos and seeing it in this video, I think the sculpt looks pretty good. I do prefer that like sweaty looking hair piece, because it does have 2 swap out hair pieces total. But I think he looks he's like showing his armory. I'm like, dude, are you just trying to make us jealous? But yeah, he looks awesome. It is a big box. It is a big box because it has that diorama base. But dude, like you can even see here at this angle, he's just like an absolute freaking tank, man. And again, the proportions are certainly exaggerated. He is a little bit bigger than he's supposed to be, especially in the thighs. But I don't care. I really like it. Now, I did see Riley Lowe. He did like a custom modification of this, and his looked even better. He kind of fixed the proportions to be more accurate. But with that being said, like I said, I love the bulky look. It has that awesome like Frank Miller inspiration that it already had taken in this design and everything in the film. Yeah, this is sick, man.
And this one feels like it just helps kind of make, the battle armor one that he had later in the movie, for how big and thick this one is. It almost kind of makes that feel like a natural extension from, this original Batman suit. It's like, it looks like he literally just, went into the suit maker and just had armor pieces put onto it instead, with the kind of bigger size too. I love how this looks.
That's a great point, Lane. And I think, this is going to scale awesomely with that new Armored Batman, which I also have in pre-order. I sold my original Armored Batman, which I loved, but I'm excited for the new one with all the die-cast parts and everything. It's going to be another, like, absolute tank of a figure. Tom said I think he looks sweet. He does. Robert, dude, I know this is going to get tossed around a lot. It's like, this looks great. I have no doubt that InArt will probably nail the proportions a little bit better and tweak some things, and it's going to look great, and I will pursue the InArt one as well, but at this point, this is ready to go. It's released, and I don't have to wait another 3 years for it.
And the other one is in theory. They're working on it, but until it's always an in theory thing. You never know what's going to happen.
Right. So, I'm excited to see what InArt offers. I'm very excited to see what they offer, but at the same time, as I'm looking at this, I think this looks sweet, man. Is it 100% accurate? Is it perfect? Of course not, but it looks awesome.
Can I just say, like, I think it's a massive upgrade compared to the other one.
For sure.
They got the abs section right. The material choice for the suit is different. Like, people had major flaking problems with this. And like you mentioned about the whole InArt thing, I kind of in that boat, but like you're slowly convincing me because they take forever doing stuff. If this ends up like landing in my hands or like at the comic store or something, I may just end up picking it up as like a placeholder, because seeing that brick wall too that comes with it looks pretty freaking sweet.
Well, and there's also the thing though too you have to consider. You might be thinking now you might aim for that, but remember the InArt figures are also $400 or more usually expense wise, and they're gonna by that time have more releases out. So
how much is he? How much is the
one?
Hot Toys one? Yeah,
$350 for the deluxe.
Yeah,
400 is not far off though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. However, by the time they put it out with rising costs and other stuff like that, it could be more expensive.
True.
And I'm just saying, you might have this one in the collection, and you might literally have to go, hey, if I'm going to go for something InArt, I might need to look at a different character or something. You might have to be a little bit more selective. And this one is really, really good. I honestly don't see how it's, I guess with rooted hair and stuff, how you're going to make it like super, super better. But I mean,
but I'm going to display them with the cowl anyway. So like them doing rooted hair, that's not going to grab it. It's going to need much more than that.
That's why I bought the less one.
I will say something I'm noticing as we're kind of discussing here. I love that Hot Toys paid attention to those like wrinkled details in the suit and everything, which Figure Hideout
like
was
that,
pointing. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's cool to see that Hot Toys on certain things is focusing more on details like that. And also seeing the posability in this video, it looks like the suit might be a bit more posable than the original. I'm hoping, and I haven't watched this video with the audio on, so I don't know how Figure Hideout describes it. But I'm hoping that it's a completely different material, which it does appear to be from the original suits, because obviously, like the original Tactical Batman, the BVS 2.0 had that surface flaking issue where like that surface was peeling off. I would imagine they changed it. Fielder Burn says, for material-wise, I can wait. I still don't trust this won't fall apart. Yeah, kind of what I was just going. It's very possible, Robert. Without having it in hand, I have no idea. But
does anyone have the 1.0 version of this?
I actually never got. I had the Tactical 2.0 and I had the armored version, but I never had the original BVS because of all those issues. I never bought it.
I was going to say I never bought it because of those issues and a lot of the inaccuracies. And when I heard InArt was doing one, I was just like,
yeah.
Because I have the tactical suit for Justice League. I think it's a 2.0. So I have that one, but I don't want to get multiple Ben Affleck figures. But I saw this one and I was like, I need to have.
I was going to say, I think you should sell the tactical and get this one.
That's what I'm going to do. I already pre-ordered it.
Stiff, right? That's the thing I don't like about it. It's so freaking stiff, man.
There's also nothing like wrong with having just like how he was originally designed, like just the dude in the suit.
Yeah.
Not having all that armor and stuff, but
Yeah,
if
I
it's
agree.
anything like like how they updated the Deadpool material that would flake, I have faith in this that the suit will be much better.
I think so. I want to say what's up to some people in the chat. We got Kaiju Daddy in the house, my dude. What's up? Kaiju says, "Can I add this to my Christmas list?" Santa Kramer. Yeah, Kaiju, I think for some reason that's not going to happen. I think you might be missing out on the
Yeah,
BVS
we're still
Batman
waiting
this
on
year.
the swoop bikes, man. It's been
Yeah.
like
Oh,
3
you guys
years.
can go into Swoop by Helamadoo.
There we go.
Time to let that dream die.
Never. We
No,
got Big
never.
Rib.
It was your word. We're gonna hold you to it.
Right. Big Rib in the house. What's up, my dude? Big Rib says, "What's up, fellas? How you doing, Big Rib?" We got Tijuana Mike in the house, a channel member, a hotline hottie, aka King Churro. What's up, my dude? Hope you're doing well, Mike. Let's see. We got Moose in the house, a channel member and another great friend. Moose says, "Hello, community of collectors. My 2 dewbacks have shipped from Off the Racks. Thanks, John." Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I was talking to Moose, and he scooped up the 2 that John had remaining. Which, ironically, I was talking to Kaiju, and he said it's kind of hard to find for a decent price, even in Japan. So,
well, they still
congrats
have
on
one
that,
up, or they still have one deluxe still available on Off the Racks.
It's just a matter of getting it to them because the shipping is going to be astronomical. That box is deceptively gigantic because I just got mine in last week. It's massive.
One of the most hilarious things I've seen live in a while was Terry Smith live unboxing on his channel on Saturday.
Yeah,
he got the Dewbacks Deluxe, and he's like, "I am never ever gonna unbox live anything that has this big a box or anything ever again." I was like,
right.
"Well, that thing has like
also real
vehicle."
quick. Yeah, no, it's a massive box.
I love how that looks.
This mouth plate is disgusting. It's
that one that is not one of Hot Toys' better. No, remember too, I saw someone put it up. These mouth plates you can use on that Flash Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you would want to make the Flash Batman even worse.
I don't. Maybe just when he realizes he's looking in the mirror at his actual suit. You know,
I think that's like when he craps himself in the suit and he's nowhere near the Batcave. I think that's what that is. What's up, by the way, Yomo, a channel member and a moderator. What's up, my dude? Who else we got here that I missed? Oh, also Batman Collectibles. Yes, sir. I missed your comment earlier about the Batmobile. It's awesome, man. I love it. I really love that 89 Batmobile from Jazz. I think it's really dope, man. And the finish is just amazing. That's like my favorite part about it is that finish. Let's see. Yeah, Moose is going crazy, man, with them 2 dewbacks, but he told me his plan for it, and I think it's a pretty good plan. So I certainly don't have space for 2. It's hard to find space for even 1, but yeah, some of these mouth plates, man. I think I only really like this one right here. I think that's the only one I like. So I obviously, if it's not clear already, I did already pick this one up. I do like that it comes with a posable cowl and a non-posable cowl, and though the cowl on this one, as usual from Hot Toys, is not perfect, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Gio, did you end up picking this one up? Is this one on your pre-order list? Okay,
yeah, so I did. It's paid off. It took me a while though. I think this figure was announced in December, and I ended up pre-ordering it like in September or something like that. Oh, so I mean, it did last quite a while, but I know it's waitlisted now. But I was just debating like, what figure do I want to represent the Ben Affleck Batman, because the tactical suit, it was fine for it, but I would have preferred, from Batman vs Superman, but I missed out. I wasn't collecting at the time, the 1.0 and stuff like that. And then I saw this. Initially, I didn't get it because I had the tactical suit, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell the tactical suit, and then I'll keep this one. So this guy will represent my Ben Affleck Batman. And I do like that diorama base for this. Me too. Like the brick, I really like that. Can't wait to display that. So we'll see how long Sideshow will take this time for this Batfleck.
Yeah, dude. It's like I want it now. I think it looks so awesome, and this is one that I got from. I think I probably got it from Off the Racks because it's not. There's no special edition or anything. But yeah, and like I said earlier, like I'm very pleasantly surprised by the sculpt seeing it in this video because the release photos, as usual, were not very good. So seeing it here in this video, I think it looks awesome. It definitely looks like Ben Affleck, and I really like the hair piece that's kind of combed over and sweaty. I think that would be the way to run this one. But this is awesome because You know, you might have to do some modifications because of the style of connector that it comes with, but you could put this on like a Bruce Wayne figure, and that'd be really cool because Hot Toys has never released an Affleck Bruce Wayne figure, so that'd be really dope. We got Eric in the house. What's up, Eric? Another channel member. What's up, Eric? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you so much for being here, as always. But yeah, dude, this looks sick. I'm very excited for this. So, Lane, I know Chris is, you know, Chris said he's kind of like slowly considering this one. Lane, is this one that you picked up? This is one you pre-ordered. Okay.
Yeah, he's paid off except for shipping and tax from site.
Shit, ready to go. You guys are ready to go, man.
Well, I'm getting him for a specific reason.
Who am I, Lane?
That is that Batfleck base, or you just found out that that you know you're,
that's me looking at another invoice. That's what that is.
Yeah, well that's yeah, but yeah. So I see. I don't even like this how for attaching like the Batfleck.
This is just like Black Adam. That's exactly what this is like. It's exactly.
And I hated
like Black
how
Adam.
that was done. I hated how that was done for Black Adam.
Yeah.
So I mean, even that, I just with having to like make sure you match that looks like for pictures one time or twice, you're gonna like if you're gonna stick that head sculpt for the for Batfleck, you're gonna and you have to make sure you don't lose that little piece. I mean, there's a lot of things. That's the only thing I don't like with it is that looks to me and yeah, it just. I think the bat cowl just looks so much cooler. I mean, it just is Batman.
For me, Lane, Batman's like one of the only ones where I'm like, no, I got to run the cowl on it. He's got to. It's the Cape Crusader, dude. He's got to have the cowl.
But this guy, he's going to be going on my Flash bat cycle. That's why I got him. I was waiting for a figure to go on that. So I'm probably going to have him. I mean, I'll hope the suit over time will hold up, but. My other two Batmans, I have my DX19 and my Pattinson Batman, which you remember, I know you gave me a hard time because I didn't get the deluxe, but I got the regular one because I knew from the moment that I was going to get him that I was getting the Bat Cycle and he was going to go on the Bat Cycle, and that's what he was going to be on, like permanently. So I didn't have any use for the other one because anytime I display him, he's going to be on the Bat Cycle. Like they were a combo pack. Yeah. But I did get the deluxe for this one, but it wasn't really for the diorama. It was because of the switch out cowls and also the two capes that only came with one of the capes that came with the deluxe because it's wired. So I can pose it up like when he's actually on the bat cycle.
Yeah. Like having the cape back.
Yeah. In the air. But I'm really excited for this. I mean, Batfleck is not my favorite Batman by a long shot. I prefer Keaton and also Bale. But I wanted to have all the major movie Batman, kind of the three major ones to me. I know Kilmer and also Cody played them, but they were kind of in the Bat movies that started my downhill slide for Batman. So they're not in my same how I view them.
I love they're including these stands, by the way. I think that's super cool. They did that with the modern suit.
I still don't love the head sculpt. To me, it's like a 7.5 out of 10. I think it looks okay, but I know.
Like I said, I like it, but I have no application for it. I would never put it on the figure. Like again, for a custom Bruce Wayne, it'd be sick.
But I do think this diorama is well designed and well set. Well, this thing because they do leave like on the actual part with the stand. There's enough space on this diorama where you can actually like fit the figure completely on it. It's not one where, there's a rock that takes up or elevates the ground like 25% up.
Yeah, where it looks cool, but it's not practical. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this one is the perfect, like fits the character perfectly, but also has the appropriate functionality that you want if you want to display your figure on this and not a weird pose. What happened?
How wobbly the ladder is because Hot Toys did pose him hanging. I don't know. That's kind of sketchy.
Yeah, I don't
Hot Toys
know
had him posed like hanging off of that. I probably would not do that after seeing.
They must use some silly putty.
That's how I wanted to display him. I wanted to display him on the ladder.
Gio, you can take one for the team, dude. You might as well.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but that is surprising that it's like so wobbly. But yeah. Robert's asking us, where the hell is Wolverine? I guess he's talking about the Deadpool and Wolverine version. Wasn't
Should
this
be coming
announced
here
after?
sometime.
Yeah. So, like I said, this one was announced in December of 2023, and the Wolverine was announced in either June or July of 2024. So about 6 months difference.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't push out all those Deadpool and Wolverine figures because, you know, it just seemed like something they would push early. And, you know, the Battle Damage one released instantly for some people. And then we have, like, you know, the pre-order bunch from Sideshow. So, yeah, I don't know, Robert. That's very strange. We got Philly in the house. What's up, my dude? Philly says, what's happening, fellas and chat? What's up, Philly? Thank you so much for being here, my friend. As always, I hope you're doing well. Philly, I just unboxed my 89 Jazz Inc. Batmobile, and I'm absolutely loving it. I thought of all my Jazz Inc. friends that collect Jazz Inc. stuff as I was unboxing. I channeled you guys in spirit because it's only my second Jazz Inc. vehicle. But Philly, thank you so much for being here as always and for being a hotline hottie. I very much do appreciate it. Let's see. We got Christian Crosshair Cooper in the house as well. What's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Christian, I'm currently now very much hoping for that Imperial Crosshair after that Elite Squad Trooper was announced. So fingers crossed. Christian Crosshair Cooper needs to give us the luck. Thank you so much for being here, my friend, and for being a channel member. But yeah, I think this is really exciting. It seems like all of us are relatively excited about this. I do think that Chris will probably end up getting this one, especially if he sees it in my collection or sees it somewhere else.
I was gonna say, the more I keep watching this video and him messing with it and stuff and everything it comes with, I'm like, dang, I gotta get this.
And this one actually has ample hands to use all the accessories and stuff, which sometimes Hot Toys skimps on. So I'm glad to see that as well. But moving on, guys. Yeah, really awesome figure. I'm excited to pick this one up. I think he looks great. Like I said, I totally understand that there's some inaccuracies with the body and stuff, but I like it. I like the hulking look of him. I like that Frank Miller inspiration taken even further with Hot Toys, making him a bit more bulky. But with that being said, like I said as well, I'm also really excited to see what InArt does, but I'm just not willing to wait. I want to get this, and then I'll look at InArts as well when that gets announced. So with that being said, guys, we're going to move on to the Commander Cody 1.2, if you will.
That is about right.
Yeah, so this one's very interesting, and I've still been waiting, and unfortunately, I was talking to 1/6 Lovers, and I'm like, dude, please tell me you got Commander Cody. And he's like, I didn't. I really need to see a side-by-side photo with the original one next to this one. Generally speaking, the sculpt of the armor and everything is very clearly the same. But I'm wondering if this one is more posable because it's a more updated body, maybe an updated undersuit. Another thing, the weathering does look, you know, maybe slightly different and darker. But one thing, Lane, that I had asked in the Discord, and I'm like, am I crazy? I think the orange on it is a bit different as well. I think it's a deeper orange than it was on the original figure. I want to see some side-by-side photos to confirm that because my mind could be tricking me. But, dude, I keep looking at it, and I'm looking at... So, guys, just to tell you, I did sell my Commander Cody after this was announced because I ended up getting this one. So I sold my V1 version that I got when it was in stock on Sideshow long ago. And I picked this one up. And the main reason I did that is because I wanted to see if it was any better. And also, the original one had that weird, like, arm issue where people... I mention this a lot because it's just so crazy to me. Someone in the Discord that's been in my Discord for many years, she had to replace hers 3 times through Sideshow. So it was a very common issue when Commander Cody first hit. So when I got mine, I'm like, I'm not using that hologram arm. So I'm hoping that this one is improved because I would love to use that hologram arm because that's like one of the best moments from Commander Cody and Revenge of the Sith. So.
And I was one of the big dopes that who put the hologram arm on him and basically had him pose with that thing sitting out for over 2 years.
Yeah.
Just with it wasn't until I had to move I got him out of the looking at the Order 66 pose. Mine fortunately has never had any problems though. But I probably will never stick.
Yeah, and mine didn't either. But again, it could be because I was so careful with it because I knew everybody else was having issues. Clone Trooper, this is another great thing that Clone Trooper pointed out, which I'm actually happy about. Clone Trooper says the arms can rest closer to his size because of the larger but less screen accurate armpit cutouts. I am personally, and in Clone Trooper, I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I'm personally willing to sacrifice a little bit of accuracy if it means nothing drives me up a wall more when the arms don't sit close to their sides. The original Hot Toys Superman figures, they all had that issue. A lot of the Spider-Man figures, I guess the earlier versions, had that issue. I hate it. I hate it. The Justice League Superman from Hot Toys is like this. That's literally what he looks like. And I didn't realize it was so bad until, especially when the InArt one hit, the BVS Superman from InArt. I'm like, dude, I need to sell this because it bothers the crap out of me. So I am happy to see that because I do prefer that look. But Clone Trooper says, no padding on the thighs, body, so probably more posable but less screen accurate again. Yeah, that makes sense. Again, for me, I think on this one, I think I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of accuracy for posability. But, everybody's different. And also, I probably would care more about it on certain figures versus others. That's just how we are. We kind of pick and choose with stuff. I'm sure you, being Clone Trooper, that probably is important to you. And you're like, damn it, I'm glad I have the V1. If you have the V1. I can't remember if you have it or not. But very good points. Thank you so much. Because when it comes to clones, I got base level knowledge when it comes to a lot of the accuracy stuff. I care more about the Jedi and things like that. 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid in the house. 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid says, what's up? I still have the original Cody, but I got this new one for the Phase 1 helmet. So that's another thing we have to talk about, guys. I did manage to secure 2 of these. I'm not going to say how. I got 2 because I wanted one for the Phase 1 helmet so I could put it with the Phase 1 Rex from Ahsoka. But let's be clear on something, guys. The Phase 1 helmet being thrown in with this is wild because it's completely... You want to talk about inaccurate. That is completely inaccurate because it's Phase 2 armor with a Phase 1 helmet. So you very much have to look past that in your display and just focus in on the fact that you have that Phase 1 helmet, which is kind of what I'm doing. Because this is essentially the Phase 2 armor just with a swap-out Phase 1 helmet. So in a lot of ways, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and Hot Toys is kind of very lazy with it and just kind of threw that in. But... me being the sucker that I am, I'm like, are they ever going to do a Phase 1 Cody after seeing this? Maybe not. So I took the chance and jumped on it because I want to have Phase 1 Cody with Phase 1 Rex. So I found that very interesting. The other crazy thing about this one, guys, that was, typical Sideshow as of late, they've been just throwing stuff up without any warning. And I was glad to see with the Artisan Obi-Wan, at least they did not do that because I know a lot of people would have been upset. But, Gio, with this one... with the Chopper and with the 212th Airborne, they just threw them all up and they said, here you go for it. And, because of that, I think they sat for a bit longer than they normally would have. Because I know that Cody was very sought after. I mean, I was looking at sold listings and like a sealed in-box Cody was selling for over $400, even just right after this Cody dropped. So it was a sought after figure for sure. I mean, he's one of the few named clones that the average person can identify in Revenge of the Sith because he's just such a popular clone. I mean, he's the leader of the clone army. So it was definitely a sought after figure for a lot of people. But yeah, it was just super random that Sideshow just threw up all 3 of them. But again, they've been doing that lately, and we've been noticing that they did it with Bois and they did it with the Elite Squad Trooper as well. But I guess with the Artisan one, that's kind of where they draw their line. But Gio, I'm curious. I don't know how hard you really go in Star Wars. Was this a easily passable one for you, or did you go for this one?
Wait, something happened to my lighting right now. Sorry.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. As for when it comes to the clone troopers, I don't really collect. Well, I don't collect them. I don't have a single one of them. I don't know, Connor, if you watch, the TV series, the animated shows where there's a little bit more information about the clone troopers.
Yep, Rebels, Clone Wars,
yeah,
I've seen them all.
Yeah. So for those, I haven't seen those. So the only exposure that I have to the clone troopers are from, the prequel films. So, I mean, these figures, these troopers look cool. But I don't have really any big connection to them. The one that I probably like the most as far as the appearance is the Airborne Trooper. I kind of like that look. But then the other one, the the Cody, that one, it's a bit more significant when it comes to the prequel or the prequels, or specifically Episode 3, right? Because we have that scene that you mentioned, the Order 66 scene there. So I like that, but not enough for me to pick up any of these clone troopers. And let me see. And all of these are waitlisted The one that is not
Is it Chopper?
the Chopper. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that one is still available, even though it is limited to 2,000. But
I
that
figured
one's
that
still
would be
available.
a sleeper one because, I feel like even more so than Clone Wars, Rebels is even more niche than Clone Wars, and it sucks to say that because I love that show, but I feel like a lot of people, they've potentially seen Clone Wars but not Rebels, so I'm not surprised that one's sitting. But yeah, imagine if they didn't make that one limited, it would sit even longer.
Oh yeah.
But that makes sense, Gio. I think a lot of people probably share that opinion because, troopers, to a lot of people, not everybody, but they're secondary to main characters, which, even though I would consider this, main character material, he's not on the level of like Anakin and Obi-Wan and characters like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally understand. Sean says the orange looks different because the original orange looked faded, and it looks different because the white on the armor is there. Yeah, I thought so, Sean. Like I figured it wasn't my eyes tricking me. I just kept looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, that original. That's a great way to describe it. The original orange looks faded in comparison. I prefer this. I said it, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I prefer that this kind of more so matches that 212th Airborne we're going to talk about. I think he looks sick. We got Beskar Kid in the house. Beskar Kid says, got this for the Phase 1 helmet also for the Clone Wars display. Haven't opened it yet, though. That's crazy, Beskar. You just tease us. You're like, hey, I have it, but I haven't opened it. You got to open it, dude. You got to open it. And yeah, another great point from Philly. Commander Cody was the very first official Hot Toys clone figure because, yes, they did help Sideshow and work on their clone figures back in the day, but yeah, this was the very first Hot Toys clone, even before the 501st Standard Trooper and Deluxe. So very good point. Chris, I know this is one that, I know you like this character. What are your thoughts on this, especially in comparison to the first one? I can't remember. Did you have the first one or you did not have the first one? I can't remember if you had this one.
I didn't have it.
You didn't have it. Okay.
Brother had it. So when he used to live with me long ago, we kind of had our collection together. So it was in there and I got to see it all the time. But I passed on the resale of it many, many times. And so just luck that they re-release it.
You've been getting lucky with that lately, that's for sure.
Lately, since I've been collecting, man, it's just kind of fell into my lap with stuff like that, like the Terminator stuff and the Anakin. Well, I had the.
I got lucky with the T-1000. I kept and the Terminator stuff too.
Oh, Darth Maul, Darth Maul with the speeder,
yeah.
Because I had that Sideshow one, freaking another R2, C-3PO. Like I've just it's just falling right in the lap. But I'm excited for it. I again have never had Cody in there. I was personally waiting. I thought they were gonna do a 212th before they ever did Cody again, and I was just gonna settle and pick that up. But if they're gonna do the Commander, posing with Obi-Wan, it's a win-win for me. So I think he looks good. I'm excited to see it. I won't be too worried about the paint apps like you were it being different orange. I know they did the what was it called, the Soka version or the 501st and the two different blues or whatever. So it's kind of not the first time they've redone a figure and the color's been a little bit different, at least trooper wise.
Well, so I will say though, with this Ahsoka version, that's intentional because they did change the colors on screen for Ahsoka. It had like that more of that like tealish blue versus that like royal blue that we saw in the Clone Wars and on screen. But yeah, for sure. But this is it's a really cool figure, and I'm glad that not only you have an opportunity at it, but a lot of people who didn't get it originally. Like I said, I sold my original one for what I paid for it, so I'm completely happy with that. I was able to scoop this one up. Yeah. Uncarter Reviews, what's up, my friend? Uncarter Reviews says, give us an artisan Darth Vader. I'll take any Anakin, any Vader. I'll take them all. I will take every single one of them. Come on,
of course, you got the
Chopper first.
You got the updated paint applications now too with this. That's another plus. And I'm sure the body's going to be a little bit more proportionate, and they had ratchets in the last one, but I know they've changed it up a little bit, at least since the 501st.
I imagine the new body will definitely be better. Like I do, like I said, for me, I think it's probably like a 1.2, and I'm not counting that Phase 1 helmet because I think that barely counts. But I do want to jump over as well, and Lane, if you're here, I know your camera's off, but I think you're still
I'm here.
Lane, we're going to jump over to the Airborne as well, and then you can kind of like wrap in your thoughts of Commander Cody as well, because I want you to be able to talk about the Airborne, because I think, I hate to say it, but I think this is the more exciting of the two, only because, number one, the design is just badass. Like, the Airborne, the 212th Airborne is one that we've been waiting for forever. Like, I wanted this one more than the regular 212 by a long shot.
They put, like, all the cool it's like this guy got all the cool ideas that we eventually saw for all the different, like, armored pieces and stuff.
The comma, the Nerf bullet belt on his shoulder.
Bullet belt. He's got a little carry bag. He's got, the different weapons. He's got packs, different packs for carrying whatever on him. The weathering on him. Like, this is a combination of, like, all the stuff from all the different other clone types we got later, except for maybe a big goofy backpack, like from the Commandos or something.
I mean, Lane, he's got a little merce and everything. Like,
I mean, he's got the man purse to carry into battle. I mean, what more could you? Like, this guy, I'm not the super biggest fan of the helmet. I like more the regular.
Dude, it reminds me of Bionicle. That's why I love this helmet so much. I love it so much.
You are actually right that Bionicle is, but I mean, it also, of course, leads to like the Purge Troopers and stuff like that too.
Exactly.
So even for other, but they just did. Trooper. They nailed like. I do kind of feel bad. This one was done only as like an exclusive limited release. I mean, I guess I kind of feel. I mean, but as you were probably going to say, this is you might have been bringing up that this one was from a graveyard that we've seen for years.
Yeah.
To me, I feel this is kind of weird where they did this is an exclusive, but last year they brought Kit Fisto out, who was from the graveyard from years ago,
and Poe Dameron recently. Like, they've been really digging in that vault, man. Yeah. And then Padme, that happened with her. She was originally shown a long time ago.
But for Kit, it feels weird because he's a Jedi, but to me, he feels like he's a sea-level known, even possible Jedi, where he feels like a Jedi, which may have fit more for being a exclusive, like a certain number we're going to make. Like if they're going that deep and where they didn't feel confident about these years ago. But since they first showed this guy, there have been the 501st clones. They've done the Coruscant Guard. They've done who knows how many names. I mean, we got the Wolf Pack coming, for heaven's sakes, which is probably even less known than some of these guys, at least from a major audience, because you saw him in Revenge of the Sith. Like, I think him being a standard release for pre-order, where Cody, because they already put one out of him and he was kind of a second release, that makes sense to me why it'd be a limited run. I feel like he should have been a general release. But, whatever their numbers, maybe for clones or something, or it's because he was an older model they didn't feel comfortable with years ago, putting him out, that this might have been why. Yeah,
I also think that, again, I've mentioned this so many times about the limited stuff, but when you put that limited number, it's a sense of urgency. It's not like, I'll wait till he's about to go waitlist. Like, it's a sense of urgency with this stuff. And yeah, I mean, I think it was very smart to announce them in tandem, because then Hot Toys is like, cool, we're guaranteeing ourselves 2 sales. And they both went up the same day. So. Exactly. We're guaranteeing ourselves 2 sales from a decent amount of people.
Yeah.
Real quick, 16 stars Pimpazoid. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, if you look at the listing on Sideshow, guys, for the Airborne, it does say genuine leather details. So again, I'm loving this. I hope this trend from Hot Toys continues. The Vader we're going to talk about has a fully nylon suit. We've got genuine leather.
We're still left going. Airborne Trooper, random guy you guys didn't feel comfortable about releasing for 6 or 7 years, gets leather, and Artisan Anakin and Darth Vader Sith Apprentice get leather.
I guess it's like, hey, moving forward, we'll do that. I don't know.
I know, but it just for either one, it's just kind of like you're left a little bit befuddled sometimes when they do this. But
yeah,
I'll just say for Cody, I had the 1.0. I still own him. I did not run into the arm issues or anything like that. I saw him, was kind of like, it's kind of, but I already own Cody. So I said, I'm not going to spend $270 on a figure that I already own. And I have him displayed up actually, because I didn't want to take him out of my display, because I have him, as you've seen, part of my entire clone setup with the AT-RT and all that. So I was like, I'm not messing this up for any period of time. There's no reason to do it. And I'm not the biggest Phase 1 clone fan. Like, I think they're okay, but I like Phase 2. That's my look for the clones. Yeah. But this guy I pre-ordered. Like, I think I've been very good, because from all the Insta releases and all that stuff, I've only gotten 4. The Sith Apprentice, Darth Vader, which obviously that's a little bit different case. But I managed to only pre-order this guy. What else have I done? I'm actually forgetting off the top of my head what else I've done. But Bois. Like those two I got. Those were the 2 exclusives I got to get. But anyway, great figure. I think it's a great trooper. There's enough different about him where he's unique enough. He's not just another repaint of like a Phase 1 or Phase 2 clone we've already seen 20 times. So, there's enough different to him.
And it's sought after. It's one that a lot of people have wanted for quite a while.
So I think it makes him unique enough if you wanted to go out and get him.
Crazy.
With the FOMO kind of, it's like, go get this guy, because I don't think clones or just troopers in general ever going to go like super silly expensive, unless the occasional thing like Crosshair, going completely bonkers. But I think if you got him, you should be really happy. I do worry a little bit, just I guess posing wise a little bit. You might need to, because he's got all the clips and all that stuff all over him, you might need to be a little bit careful how you pose them up a little bit, so that you don't strain them or something like that over time. But like that's a minimal worry. That would be like if I have to come with one thing for the figure, I would worry about it a little bit. But super happy with them. That's why I'm getting them. And he doesn't need to come right next week, because I got a couple other figures I'm paying for. But I'll look forward.
I think we'll have a little bit of time. We'll have a little bit of time. But yeah, well said, dude. I'm really excited for this one as well. Like I said, this was a long sought after one for me. Chris and Gio, any comments on the Airborne before we move on to Darth Vader? You guys picking this one up? Chris said he pre-ordered 6 figures. I hope his wife is watching, since Chris always calls me out for everything. I hope she sees this comment.
I just want to say, the man formerly known as Collecting Nightmare, I was waiting to hear him tell me he had 6 of these on pre-order somehow or something. He's still trying to get one of my ARC. He's still trying to get my ARC Trooper.
Yeah, maybe one day he'll get it out of you.
I had sideshow rewards.
Oh, yeah. You had rewards.
Okay.
Rewards for 6 figures? No, you didn't.
All right.
See?
Must be nice, right?
What 6 figures, dude? Let's hear it. BVS Batman was one of them?
No. Surprisingly not. I'll wait for that one to like come into the store or whatever, but I hadn't yet, or surprised. These are going to shock you guys.
Kit Fisto.
No, I had Kit Fisto. Plo Koon, though. Plo Koon was on there. T-800 clean and battle damage.
It's crazy.
The T-1000, Jar Jar, and Poe.
Dang,
I think that was 6.
That's not good. That credit card's just sitting in like a pile of mush right now on his desk.
Right.
Yeah, it's smoking right now. It's smoking.
It's crazy. Well, I guess Chris won't be getting the 212th Airborne anytime soon.
No, I'm not. No.
Gio, are you getting the Airborne? No. Oh,
no.
You're not getting Cody. You're not getting the Airborne.
No. Yeah. I'm not getting any of those clone troopers. I'm not really, like I said, connected to it. So maybe if I watch, Rebels or Clone Wars later on, maybe I'll be more.
Yeah, maybe you'll get more of an attachment to it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you actually saw any of the Airborne ever in Clone Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever saw.
I think there had to have been at least one scene that I remember that they were in.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there might have been, but I mostly remember. I remember the one I think that shot the spider droid or something like that in Revenge of the Sith. But they're an awesome trooper, man. Like they're just one of the coolest looking troopers that I think. Now,
was it maybe Rebels Beskar? Did we ever see him in? I feel like why am I thinking I saw him on screen in some anime? I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, with me, I'm just any clone trooper. I just don't really have much attachment to it. So I just kind of meant, if I watch those shows later on and they, announce some other clone troopers, right. I might be able to feel like I want to get it.
That makes sense. But guys, we're moving on to easily for me not only the most exciting announcement of the group, but genuinely For me, this is one of the coolest 1/6 scale announcements from Hot Toys ever for me, because you guys know I love Anakin Skywalker, I love Darth Vader,
Oh yeah.
and Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorite movies of all time. And this truly, to me, and I never thought anything would top the Return of the Jedi. You know, you got the electrocuted helmet, you got the Sebastian Shaw head sculpt. Like, I thought you couldn't top that, but for me, this is it, man. This is like the ultimate Darth Vader for me. I mean, the fact that Hot Toys even went as far as to not only do the operating table, but they did the little droids floating above him. They did the shackles that he breaks loose of when he yells that elusive "no" that Clone Trooper's quoting here. He just freaking looks amazing, dude. And they've included pretty much anything you could want. I mean, this is like really one of the coolest announcements, Star Wars wise or anything alike ever for me. It might not be for you, but for me, it's like, dude, this is so freaking cool. And 1000% what you see here is how I'm displaying mine. I want the full, right, I want the full deconstructed look. Chris and I were talking about earlier, I love that little when the mass pressurizes and he breathes for the first time. Like, this is a moment stuck in time in my head, and this is amazing. This is truly amazing. And I did in my head think that they were going to do a Darth Vader for Revenge of the Sith, because it just seems like a Hot Toys thing to do, but never would I have thought that they would go this hard on it. And this is kind of like one of those wish figures, like, oh, an operating table figure would be cool, or a meditation chamber figure would be cool. Never would I have expected that they would go this hard on it. And to Gio, like, this is amazing, man. Like, it really is. And we got a fully nylon suit. The freaking helmet shape is pretty accurate for Revenge of the Sith. Like, and I saw, and I'm going to die on this hill, and I think Chris is dying there with me. People saying it's too skinny. Hayden Christensen was not originally, right, he was not originally meant to play Vader, and he asked George Lucas, and George Lucas is like, yeah, you're right, let's put you in the suit.
They made him the suit, bro. That's what makes it
right, so he was in the suit.
He's not a bodybuilder who was like 6 foot.
Also, like, if you see the interview, like, he talks about it, George talks about it, like, where he was afraid of it being uncomfortable and clunky, like, and how it looked on. And this is the first time Anakin's supposed to be in the suit, so he's supposed to be awkward and weird with it. Yeah. So it fits, man. It's dope.
And the whole thing was supposed to be, this is like, you got, and people for older would have a hard time, but the whole kind of thought processing behind the scene was like Frankenstein's monster coming to life. Like, that's literally what was supposed to be the inspiration.
And he's literally,
that's why he stomped. That's like why he stomped. That's literally like how Boris Karloff's Frankenstein monster kind of stomped after it had become alive. Well, it might be McClunky too, but it was clunky. But that's what they were going for. Like, that's what it was supposed to be.
It's the perfect Vader. It's not scuffed. It's super glossy. He's symmetrical instead of asymmetrical. Like, instead of, the gunmetal on one side and the shiny other, it's like all. They did it purposely, like, because they didn't have to play with the lighting for this film like they did in the original trilogy with the camera and stuff like that. So.
And this is the origin of one of the most iconic movie villains or characters in general of all time. This is when he truly became the Darth Vader that we know. I know he became Darth Vader when he still had that Anakin Skywalker silhouette, but this is when we truly saw the part man, part machine become Darth Vader in the mask. And we saw such a special moment.
Saw the Death Star starting to be built. Like, it was just...
And the anguish
what's to come is what's awesome.
Right, and the anguish of finding out Padme died and his reaction to that.
This is part of, like, literally Hot Toys trying to double dip on the, like, exact announcement with this particular Darth Vader.
It's literally like later. Because this movie came out last in that original 6, you're like looking at it like, oh crap. Like, you would think originally if you saw it first, how's he going to be in this new suit? But you're sitting here watching this as he's being put in it, knowing the work he's about to put in going for it, and like all the other stuff we've seen now in between with, Rebels and all that stuff. Yeah. Like, he just, the terror that he goes in, the Kenobi show, like, how powerful he can truly be even with a suit like that.
Yeah, like the story they've developed, especially like with the backstory in the Kenobi show and stuff, is really cool. Yeah, and Big Dog Pound, you know, like I mentioned, as much of a Vader and Anakin fan, I never saw this coming. I would have expected Hot Toys to go the lazy route and just do the regular edition that we saw, where it just came with the base and call it a day. But this is truly special. This is freaking awesome. I want to say a big shout out and what's up to my boy Mike. Mike was unable to make it tonight. He had an emergency come up, but we appreciate you, Mike, for being here, my friend, for being a channel member and all around great guy. We miss you, and I know at least you're here in spirit with us. Because I know Mike was really, really excited for this stuff. He messaged me when it all went up, and he's like, dude. And whenever I get that message from my friends, I know what's coming. You know, I know everybody's excited.
Sorry to hear, Mike. You rock, dude. Awesome dad.
Sir. Kenny says, only Iron Man and Vader get this type of love. And Boba Fett. And Clone Troopers, mostly. Moose, thank you so much, my friend. A channel member at Hotline Hottie for 17 months. He says, big shout out to Kaiju Daddy for Galen Urso for cost plus ship. Yes, Kaiju helped out a lot of people with that since our last stream. You know, Kaiju had mentioned if anybody needs help, let me know. Kaiju, you're too kind, my friend, and you are an example of a great collector in the community. So everybody appreciates you, and I appreciate you myself.
Round of applause for them.
I got a question.
Sure.
How many Vaders do you guys have?
I have every single 1/6 scale Vader that Hot Toys has released, apart from, so I have like the newer A New Hope version, but I don't have the first release of New Hope. But other than that, I have every single one.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
He's Anakin boy.
That includes the dueling effect. Yeah, the dueling effect Vader as well. So I go.
Yeah. If we play a wrestling theme song, his would be "I'm an all Anakin boy. I'm an all Anakin boy."
I think I might regret it, Lane, when they go back in 2.0 all of these with the
See, I'm a little bit different. One, I didn't get in when they were doing all that stuff. Two, I can't collect everything. Like, it's too much and it wouldn't fit in here. And I like other IPs. So for original trilogy, I picked my favorite. Everybody knows Return of the Jedi. So I have that one. And then the Kenobi Vader. I have this one on pre-order and that battle damaged one on pre-order as well. So not many Vaders for me. I had the Sideshow one before the Hot Toys, but got rid of that thing because it don't compare to Hot Toys.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, guys, I did put up a poll, so if you haven't already voted in the poll, it's already looking like most people are going the right way. I'm just trolling Lane.
See, I only have one Vader, and that's the Return of the Jedi Vader. I started collecting like maybe a couple years ago. So if I was gonna get a Darth Vader, it was gonna be buying backwards. Yeah. So I saw the Return of the Jedi one, and it looked cool to me. So I was like, I'm gonna pre-order him, and I have him now. I just don't want to get multiple of the same character, even though Darth Vader.
Unless Gio, it's this version of Vader.
My brother and I, we had like A New Hope was in the collection in Empire, but obviously like he took those. Like I didn't want them, so.
Yeah, I have the Tarkin Vader 2-pack as well. Like on Carter Review, I have every Hot Toys Vader except.
Oh yeah,
I do have
the Tarkin 2-pack as well.
And I kind of just want the table, to be honest with you, because I just don't want to spend the $500 for another figure and the table.
Gotta have the sculpt, bro. It's literally this photo that's right here.
The toasted Hayden sculpt.
Why would you want the table?
On,
you gotta have them all.
And I like this. This is like
Gio,
iconic,
it's Hayden.
right?
Come on, man. You gotta
and then the droids look awesome too. Like
if you put Sebastian Shaw on that table, I'm personally
over there. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
You were right. You were telling your sister you were right.
He's like, I've been on this table long ago.
Right. So, but it's like a big difference, a big price difference. Just the figure alone is like $315, and then it's almost $500 for the deluxe. So, like, probably not for me. But it looks awesome, though. It looks awesome.
That's fair. But you could always, like Kenny's saying, you could just put them on like your kitchen table and make your own like Revenge of the Sith knockoff Vader with the Return of the Jedi version. Yeah, I mean, I was telling Lane this, for me, like, everybody's different. The biggest selling point to this for me is this table. Because like Chris and I were saying, and Gio was saying as well, I want to replicate that moment of, you know, Anakin truly becoming what Palpatine always intended, and yeah, this is sick, man. And what you're seeing here in these photos is essentially the standard collector version here. Again, the coolest thing about this for me is, apart from the display base and everything, is the fact that we get another nylon suit. So it seems like moving forward, that's the standard. That's the third Vader now with the nylon suit. We saw the deluxe, which is another curious thing that maybe I should poll. Are a lot of people now going to cancel that like concept battle damage? I'm certainly not, but are a lot of people going to cancel that concept version now for the true Vader with the helmet taken off and everything? I don't know.
There's still.
I also wonder how the sculpts compare.
Those, though. Like they're
for me, Lane, certainly, but you know how quick people jump the gun.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm still keeping that super battle damage on because, like I said when we did that stream, that Vader reminds me of like the comic where he kind of slid down the. I think it was on Mustafar, and like he was able to slide like down a volcano, and his arm like went into like. It's a whole thing. There's a story on YouTube about it and stuff.
And he also has a unique bait. Now, Malgus is going to come with it too, but that kind of that sliding kind of circular base and stuff that is going to make him even taller than he already is.
Yeah, so that's going to be a massive display lane at Malgus because he's huge.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like why he came with a red saber because he didn't use it in the film too, but it's in the proto shots.
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
If you remember the proto shots that they came out with, like the promo with him and Sidious standing there, they each had their red lightsabers, and there's a bunch of photos. Actually, the poses that Hot Toys are doing look like the promo photos that they took of.
Well, yeah, and also like. There's been plenty of officially licensed Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader hilts. Like, there's an existing design specifically for Revenge of the Sith, so it's a thing.
Yeah, dude, this sculpt is so spot on, bro. Even with like down to the eyes. Yeah, the redness in the eye with still having the blue, like the bloodshot look.
And the freaking. All I remember is that
when it's coming down onto his face,
and then it pans back down to his face and just seeing like the terror in his eyes of what he's becoming. It's just crazy, man. This is such a freaking cool announcement. Like, truly, I cannot stress that enough. Like, this is really like one of the coolest announcements from Hot Toys ever for me. So, of course, guys, I wanted the freaking Revenge of the Sith little coin thing. Yeah, of course.
The plaque.
I did the same thing, bro.
I pre-ordered it instantly. Yeah, I mean, number one, I love the aesthetic of the Revenge of the Sith 20th merch, but also, like, how would you not want that? It reminds me of, and I told Chris about this the other day, I had one of the original, like, special edition DVDs of Revenge of the Sith when it first released on DVD, and mine came with, like, a little challenge coin, and I still have that in my collection, so I'm like, this kind of reminds me of that in a way, and, like, I love, and ironically, even though they're probably less limited, I was telling Chris this the other day, I prefer those gold coins that Sideshow's getting over the red ones. I saw the red one in person for a couple reviews I did, and the red one, you can't freaking read it, dude. It's like too dark. The gold one's just in your face like that. And you know what it reminds me of too? Those Pokemon cards that I think it was Burger King did years ago.
Oh yeah, the gold ones.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I'm like, I kind of like that.
Bro, freaking like you said, the Revenge of the Sith, the merch for it. Revenge of the Sith hits home so hard like no other prequel does or Star Wars film. I remember seeing Phantom Menace. I remember Attack of the Clones in the theater, but Revenge of the Sith was like my real like hype for it. Like the video game that came out before the movie came, playing that, all the trailers and stuff, reading the book before the film came out, like all the hype that just led up to this final piece, seeing Vader don in the suit. And to have a piece like this in the collection is really, like, it sounds cheesy, but kind of like a childhood dream come true, to be honest.
No, because I had a 3.75 scale version of this where you could pull the armor off and it, like, exposed.
Oh, yeah, I did that, too.
Yeah.
I had a little Hasbro, like, 12-inch thing, too. It was called, like, the Ultimate villain like edition, and you got like a 12-inch Anakin.
Yeah, and you could switch it between Anakin and
between Vader.
And this is the first one of him to come with like the wired cape, so you can like put it in poses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I had that comment pulled up earlier from Clone Trooper. Like, it's so cool. Vader, I'm always going to prefer a drape cape. That's just me. But it's awesome to see they're including two. Because even with the Kenobi Vader, they gave us a reversible cape. They didn't give us even both capes. So, yeah, I mean, guys, the deluxe version is $500. So that's a tough pill to swallow. But for me, I would pre-order it again and again and
Same,
again
bro.
Yeah,
and again.
Well,
So Lane, I brought this up specifically to draw to you because Lane, you didn't go for the deluxe version. You went for the regular
I haven't
one.
pre-ordered them yet.
Well, so are you on the fence now, Lane? Are we thinking about the deluxe potentially?
This is with guys. So I actually just sold my Kenobi Vader to help pay for a new Vader. This one because I'm more like Geo. I just don't like to own more than one of a character. But I own two. Like Vader is one of the exceptions where I owned two of them. I had Return of the Jedi. That is Vader from my favorite movie. That's my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. So I get the Sebastian Shaw head sculpt. I had to get that. Now I love the Kenobi Vader. I think that is still one of the best. Like I legitimately think that one and the Deluxe are the two best values for Vader for what you get with them.
Yeah, it's an awesome figure. Yeah.
Yeah, and so. This is one thing that I know Justin Collectibles. He kind of said when he had his preview, he doesn't like that there was some stuff different between the deluxe and the quote regular edition. This feels almost like two completely different SKUs where there's the one with there's the deluxe that has the table stuff and has stuff exclusive to it. And then there's stuff exclusive to this version. This one, the thing is Connor's aware. I've mentioned this on some of the streams. The light up base that comes with it is the same one that's Kenobi Vader, so technically it is reused.
Yes, and Lane, I saw a lot of people saying that they wanted to pre-order two of these to get that base, and I'm like, I guess a lot of people, like you said, only go for one particular Vader usually. So I guess I was expecting more people to have the Kenobi Vader already and not really care about that base, but it was actually the contrary. I've seen a lot of people say they wanted this base.
It is the most. I think for Imperial stuff, it is the most reusable base, even if you're not using it for the main character. Can you put it with the? Remember, because I remember when I unboxed Grand Admiral Thrawn, back when he came out last year from Ahsoka. I used that base as putting his little, the thing with his ship and everything, the map on it and everything, the display. And that base just really enhanced how he looked on that. Like it was amazing with the light up feature. So I had to sacrifice my Kenobi Vader because I was not going to own three Vaders. But I had to get this Vader. I have to get it because I will own Vader from my two favorite Star Wars movies. Even if this one's a little bit different than
and Lane
the other ones.
So the other one you have is Return of the Jedi, so you kind of have the beginning and the end, which is really cool.
But I've still gone back and forth between this version because that's my only problem too. It's like I sacrificed my literal favorite base that Hot Toys has ever made so I could get one of these. One version comes with my favorite base that they've ever made. Now, obviously for sentimental reasons, I love the entire ability to recreate the that sculpt is so amazing that you can recreate the Mr. Roboto Vader. But my problem is I would never ever use that table. I just never would. I literally I just because I know where I would put this Vader with. This Vader, if I buy this Vader, it's going back in with my Inquisitors and my Kenobi. I want him with the other dark side wielders. And that is to me that's where I know exactly where he would go. Like he's going to go with my Inquisitors like Grand Inquisitor Reva and everybody. And eventually Marok whenever he finally comes in. Like that's where I want him to be with all those dark side people. But I was still on the fence about doing the tail just because it, like you said, it is so iconic. But I had to ask myself at the end of the day, kind of like Gio mentioned, do I want to spend $180 on a table?
And the answer is yes, Lane.
That I'm 100%. I am 100% certain will just stay in the box. And this is not the first time I would skip on deluxe. The Batman 89, I got the regular edition over the deluxe because I wasn't going to use the Dio. I got, I didn't get the deluxe Darth Vader. They came with the lightning head because I knew I would never use it. So I bought the regular edition because I wanted the Vader. I just wanted the Vader. And I didn't care about the switch out head or the goofy lightning effects that I would never stick on him. I wanted the Sebastian Shaw head sculpt. See, the thing that would have had me get the deluxe 100%, like it would be no doubt I would definitely get it, is if that head sculpt did not come with both. Hot Toys made it really weird from having to kind of choose. I think they made it sometimes a little bit easier to choose if you knew sideways and everything. But I still, even this morning, I was going back and forth on which Vader I wanted to get. Because I really, really, really like that. But where I'm kind of caught is, even though it was on VHS, I was introduced into Star Wars, the original trilogy, not the prequel trilogy. I mean, I was 22 when I went to see Phantom Menace, or 21. I mean, the first time I ever saw Star Wars actually in movie theaters, like any kind of newish release, was the 97. So I wasn't that far from the special edition. I was a little bit too young. I was just a little bit too young. And my parents hate sci-fi. But I had seen Star Wars when I was a little kid. So my parents bought me, knew I was just all kinds of crazy for the Millennium Falcon and all that stuff. So they bought me a Falcon and a Luke Skywalker, like all of that stuff back when I was little.
We have a couple questions, Lane. We have a couple questions here regarding Vader. Frank, in my honest opinion, I think, believe it or not, I think this is probably the most accurate Vader helmet yet. I was actually surprised at how nice the shape looked, and that and to be fair, the Return of the Jedi helmet's pretty nice. Like, I think they nailed the look pretty nicely on the Return of the Jedi version.
Vader's helmet in Revenge of the Sith was very symmetrical,
right? Whereas it was asymmetrical in Return of the Jedi.
So they actually, where it looks weird, where like they have the comparison picture, it looks weird next to one of the like original trilogy Vader helmets, because literally in the source material, it's not exactly looking the same.
Yeah, and yes, Big Dog Pound. There's a lot of changes. Mainly the most noticeable changes that like you can pick up, you know, as like an average viewer would be like the chest box. In some of the films, his chest box has green and red switches, whereas like in other films you see blue and red. Like we'll look again at the full picture.
And like Kenobi Vader, that one was a little bit bigger and bulkier.
Right, so like here, look at the chest box. You see what I'm talking about? Like the switches are green and red, whereas you have blue and red switches.
And the COD piece is a little bit more streamlined. Like
the COD piece has changed in some suits. The way that he wears the cape, either over the shoulders or tucked behind the shoulder armor as well. Like there's a lot of minute differences, but
also
like, the belt boxes as well.
The helmets, like how far the dome sits on the brow. How
and the lenses,
the face is, like, and it fills in the back of the dome too. Yeah, the lens color.
Like they're more red, and like Rogue One, that was the first time we saw some like super red lenses.
Even A New Hope, and Rogue One, they're the only ones that have the tunic or shot, whatever you call it, over
Kenobi,
the shoulder pads instead of under the armor.
Yeah, and Kenobi, the neck piece was like a gunmetal silver.
Yep.
Which is easier to see.
Oh, like, Revenge of the Sith. This is fun fact because it was custom for Hayden and he couldn't fully fit a proper Darth Vader suit. The neck piece in this is actually tucked into the armor.
Yeah.
It's not long enough because he wasn't tall enough.
I had something to do tonight before we get going to the comments. So, not something that ever really happens on Hot Toys Hotline. But right now, we're going to have a live pre-order.
Dang. Lane, what are you pre-ordering, dude? What did we decide on, man?
I am going to get the non-deluxe Darth Vader. I decided to go with that because...
I figured you would. You seem like pretty confident.
Because I have a history of doing this, and I want that base back. You don't understand. That was my favorite diorama.
No, it is a cool base. It really is, and I was glad to see it, Lane, because that was originally part of the quarter scale Vader base, and it was cool to see it scaled. Well, I guess it wasn't scaled down. I don't even know if they changed the scale of it. They just kind of pieced apart the quarter scale base and threw it in, which I thought was cool.
But and so as much, I'm going to tell most people they should get the deluxe. But for me and what I know I'm going to use it for, however, I'm 100% getting the special edition with the little plaque thing for Revenge of the Sith one. Like that is an easy giveaway. Plus, also just the pricing with this, I can literally, from what I sold my other Vader for, will cover it. So this I will be able to, by the end of this week or early next week, be able to pay this piece off, not have any more money, because I do have another figure I might be getting. So there is a little bit amount just in the future for cost and stuff too. It just, at the end of the day, I can't justify $500 for a figure where literally the cheaper version comes with, probably for me to displaying purposes, comes with more what I want based on the poll. No.
Well, Lane, if you're ordering based on the poll, we got I'm going to end it now, guys. We got 14% say the regular version, 86% say.
Well,
with 36 votes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Like, I saw Revenge of the Sith Vader, and like, I know people want it, but I was like, I really don't need it if it's just Vader in the suit, because I have other Vaders and I'll take Anakin with Sith eyes over than the suit. But when they put the table with it, that's the selling point, because that's like him being put into the suit, and I need that storytelling in the collection.
Assistant, I would say Vader for sure, because I think Deadpool.
Vader's got the cuts, yeah.
Deadpool's was like a reaction to them like forcing him to become a mutant, and obviously he looks like a ball sack, but Vader's got like those deep cuts in his face, and
he's missing limbs too.
Yeah,
he lost limbs. At least, his whole body got charred. Both of their bodies got charred. But
I mean, bro, he's got a crater on his head, man. Like, I know this is like a fresh wound.
A gash in the cheek. He had
look at
skin
Sebastian
hanging
Shaw.
off.
Yeah, look at Sebastian Shaw in Return of the Jedi. He looks disgusting. So I would probably go with Vader on this one for sure.
So now it's time. Yeah. So I am getting the regular version, the special edition.
That's. I mean, like I said, Lane,
like a sunlight.
I'm glad you're picking up the one that you want, Lane. I'm glad that the excitement of just talking about it makes you want to pre-order, because that's, I didn't need that for this one, but that's happened to me before. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should pre-order that. That's a really cool announcement.
Yeah, well, this has been this is where I finally had to kind of like make my mind up what I was going to do, and so Vader is ordered.
Let's go. Everybody has to buy Vader. Everybody here at least has to buy one of the versions. That's an order. I'm just joking. Oh, guys, by the way, 66 people watching. Execute order 66 on that like button, because we're taking a look at the Artisan Kenobi. And, of course, this has to be a poll. So we're taking a look at the Attack of the Clones Artisan Kenobi, but we're also going to look at the sculpted version. So, of course, I'm going to ask, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Artisan or sculpted? Because I'm very curious, because now when we have options, that really splits the decision there. So Artisan or sculpted, guys, that's going to be the question here. And, of course, you could drop it in the chat. We're going to talk about the Artisan
Unless
first.
You're Connor got both.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised you get multiple of both. Just so
we'll add both as well. I don't know who would do that, but we'll add an option for both.
Yeah, somebody on this panel.
We'll add both as well. Guys, we finally got, and I did suspect personally that this was going to be the first Artisan Kenobi, because that hair is just too perfect for Artisan hair, right? I will say, in this photo here, I think the hair looks pretty fantastic in terms of the hair shape and the way it tucks behind his ears. Whereas, like, when you go back to this photo here, I think maybe because it's, like, pushed up on his shoulders more, the shape doesn't look quite as perfect. But one thing I want to commend is I think the proportions are fantastic on this figure. I think it looks awesome. The tailoring on the tunic is much better than we've seen in the past. That's very exciting to me. I don't hate the sculpt. I do think it looks a little bit too old for how old Ewan was in the second film, but I do like it. I do hope that, being that there's time for this to be adjusted, that maybe they'll adjust the sculpt a little bit. We've seen, when it comes to Obi-Wan, we've seen an absolute miracle. We went from Matt Damon to Ewan McGregor once that Kenobi Obi-Wan was released. So very possible to make tweaks to this. But with that being said, if this is what we get, by the way, love that we're seeing a return of these lightsaber deflection effects, and it's not just with that Anakin. And we've talked about this, and I'm sure a lot of other people mentioned this on streams and what have you. But when I saw that with Anakin, I'm like, that's very clever. It looks pretty convincing. I really like that. And so I'm glad to see that return. Don't know why they waited until this figure to bring that back, but I'm glad they did because this is really cool. And I guess, you know, just to let the cat out of the bag, I pre-ordered both. Am I keeping both 100%? Not necessarily, but the thing that got me on this one, guys, is the clever inclusion of the droid from Coruscant. That was like, damn. I'm like, there's no way I can only display my Obi-Wan with that droid. So I'm like, I'm conflicted. Do I want to get two or do I want to just stay with one? So I did pre-order two. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to keep the pre-order for the sculpted, but as of right now, I'm like, I really want to have him hanging from that droid. And also, another surprising move from Hot Toys, they included seamless forearms to have him hanging from this droid, which is really, really cool. This gives me hope that when we do see a new Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan, we'll get that lava platform that I've been hoping for. Like, this just tells me, like, maybe Hot Toys is thinking a little outside the box this time around. Again, I think it looks awesome. Is the robe fantastic? Not necessarily. It is certainly better than some of the previous robes we've seen, but I think that's my biggest issue with the Jedi figures from Hot Toys is the robe. I think we all can kind of agree with that. They've kind of been hit or miss with those for years, but man, I think it looks awesome. Again, the sculpt isn't like a 10 out of 10 for me. I do really like it, but it's too old looking. It needs to be youngified a little bit, in my opinion. But yeah, dude, that droid is such an amazing outside the box, unexpected thing from Hot Toys because I just didn't expect them to do it. But this time around, I usually get kind of screwed. Like, that's just so good, man. I usually get kind of screwed on the Artisan releases, and it's like down to the wire for me every single time because I get in the thousands. But this time I was in the 700s, so it was a smooth sailing drop for me. I even did it on my mobile connection, so I was able to scoop this one. I want to give a big shout out to Gio for reaching out to me and asking me if I was able to get it. He did offer me the copy he was able to secure in case I needed it. So even though I didn't need it, Gio, that was very kind of you. And you came in clutch in the past for me with the Winter Soldier, and I still can't believe you were able to help me with that. So I'm very glad that you were able to help me with that. But I do appreciate it.
Definitely.
And yes, exactly, Clone Trooper. Chris is over here judging me. He just pre-ordered 6 figures. What is his 6 to my 2? You know? And yeah, I find Chris's lack of faith disturbing. But yeah, again, for me, and the other thing Chris and I kind of talked about, I was like, what if the Artisan hair turns out bad? I really like the scoop of the sculpted hair, too. I love how it's pinched, like, kind of perfectly. I think they did a great job on how his hairdo looks. Yeah, this is sick, man. I would like to see that sculpt just a little bit younger, and I think I'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
But Gio, you know, since the cat's kind of out of the bag, and then we'll jump to Lane because I know Lane has to leave very shortly. Gio, obviously you went for this, and I'm sure that was part of the reason because you like helping people out, and I'm sure a lot of times you get asked to help because you're always willing to for a lot of the stuff you don't go for. Yeah. But Jose and I are always competing for who's gonna help us. But so I'm guessing you know at the very least you didn't get the Artisan version. But did you go for the sculpted on this one? Or is this one that was just for you?
No, just like the philosophy when it comes to just one version of a character figure. There are some exceptions. I'm not saying that, you know, there isn't some exceptions, but for Obi-Wan, I'm waiting for Padawan Obi.
Long overdue.
So I'm waiting for that because I really want to recreate that Duel of Fates scene in my Hot Toys display. I missed out on Darth Maul 1.0 from the Phantom Menace, and they did finally announce him, and I just got him the other day. So now I want that Padawan Obi-Wan, and then Qui-Gon Jinn. Maybe hopefully they'll announce him. I don't know when, but for this one, I know I wasn't going to get him for that reason. I do think the head sculpt does look a little older than he should be. He's kind of getting towards the Kenobi series old when it comes to the head sculpt.
How bizarre, Gio, is it that these two shots side by side, this looks like considerably worse, but then it looks pretty awesome here? Am I the only one that's saying that? I'm like, I don't understand it.
No, I totally get that. I totally know what you mean with that. But with this one, like I said, I wasn't going to try to get this. I don't even have a single Attack of the Clones figure either. That's like the Anakin or Padme. I don't have any
Super Battle Droid and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, so that's why I'm focusing on the Phantom Menace line, at least when it comes to some of those figures. And I mean, like I said, I knew I wasn't going to get him, but I was going to try to get it for someone who would want it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that one there.
That's very well said. And Gio, I think now we need to have a fantasy figure of an artisan Qui-Gon, because I absolutely despise the hair on that figure. It is the here's the Reigns of Motion.
Waiting on that, bro.
So I think that would be a
better
great
likeness too.
Yeah, I think that would be a great fantasy figure, because I would love to see that happen. But I also agree with Beskar Kid, like Sam Wessel, that would be a sick inclusion to go with this figure. And did Obi-Wan come with the little dart? I don't know if he did. Did they give him that little dart that he brought to have examined by the droids? Did he?
I don't remember seeing it.
What a shame.
I don't think so.
They did not include. So maybe that'll be something that comes with Sam Wessel.
So that means we need a Dex.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
dude, that would be a big hot dog.
We got, at least we got the Django, we got the Obi-Wan. Like, they could do Sam Wessel, and I wouldn't be upset with. Blue Tattoo in the house. What's up, my dude? I hope you're doing well. Kaiju says Toy Sapien still has these. Yeah, Sideshow, they actually sold out pretty quickly. And even like Gio and I were talking about earlier, like the limited stuff, the only one that's left is Chopper.
Call me crazy, but is it safe to say, well, probably Revenge of the Sith too, but they've technically completed, like, at least for the main cast, the Attack of the Clones. You got the main three: Padme, Anakin, Obi.
Dooku.
Oh, yeah.
You got Dooku,
Mace.
Yoda, Mace,
Yeah.
the battle droid, super battle droid.
Yeah.
And even
C-3PO, R2. You literally have everybody that's in that ship or on that battlefield.
So that just shows you guys, slowly but surely, if they don't make all the Revenge of the Sith 20th stuff this year, they could still make it next year and just not put it under the 20th name. So never give up. I mean, look, Poe Dameron, what the... You know what I mean? Like,
dude, left field, bro.
I'm happy they made it, because Oscar Isaac's an awesome actor.
I've been wanting that one. I was so sad they didn't, and now I'm happy.
Yeah. So I mean, if they could make Poe Dameron out of nowhere, there's still hope.
So if you got to fit in a rate, now you can pair that, even though it's in his pilot suit, you can pair that with them.
When were the other figures announced? Like the Yoda from Attack of the Clones and the
Yoda, dude. Yoda
that was like before 2019.
Yeah, I think it was.
So that wasn't for the actual anniversary.
No, Yoda's an older. Yeah, I mean, it's still a great figure. It holds up very well. But Yoda
Count
and Dooku
and Yoda were before that Attack of the Clones anniversary.
Yeah, Yoda and Dooku were quite a long while ago, but
and so
which
is
why
Qui-Gon.
Everybody wants to. And Qui-Gon as well. Yeah, they were all pre the anniversary stuff, so they come in the regular.
They came out like pre-COVID or around when COVID hit in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and OG, they've certainly proved that as of late. They don't care, And look, the Feral Predator, and I know that was like kind of a unique situation with Fox at the time, but. The Feral Predator came 2 years after the film came out. Dude, and by the way, the trailer for the new animated show dropped today, the second trailer. Holy crap, I hope we get some sort of figures for that, man. That'd be so cool in that art style. And we saw multiple Predators in the trailer, one with like a freaking missing eye or something. So cool, man.
Or like a Hono.
Yeah, Balrog, you do have a point. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but
2015.
But
that was December.
Yeah, but also, like, they're also not advertising it either. There's no, you know what I mean? They're not going to do that because they know it's not a big seller. But, yeah, I mean, you have a good point. Maybe they just snuck that in there. My theory on it, honestly, is because they just like Oscar Isaac. Like, Oscar Isaac is a Hot Toys collector. They did the 3 Moon Knight-related figures now with Mr. Knight, the Artisan Moon Knight, and the original. So I'm thinking part of it's just like they like the guy.
That's where I want to talk about, like, this. Like, Gio already kind of mentioned the older look. Like, it's almost like they did it with the Sith Apprentice Anakin that looks closer to the Ahsoka to me. Not everybody says that, but a lot of people do think that in the art box, and we'll move on from that. But this does kind of look like also could be from that flashback scene with him and Anakin fighting or whatever. But, I'm going to take this all day. It's branded Attack of the Clones. The look, they could still do whatever, but it could be a licensed thing, and they just threw this together and then did that. Who knows? We'll only know when the final
in a year and a half in a year and a half from now we could have quote, hey, guess what, we updated the head sculpt.
But dude, I'm super happy about it. I'm stoked, and I personally got the Artisan edition, but Connor knows I was very hesitant because some shots of the sculpted at least for the sculpt, look a lot better in some pics than this. And I also know with their new peg system for Artisan, you can actually move it up and down because I've done it with my Anakin or whatever, and that definitely plays a huge favor into likeness. And that side by side photo you had where one looked off and the other, you could see it was like in the neck. The other one looked like he was sitting on his shoulder practically.
Yeah. I will say, I do think the sculpted shape as it sits right now is slightly more accurate. I love the way it's tucked behind the ears.
I was going to say, this is what's going to like freaking hurt. And of course, we can style the Artisan, but this is what's going to suck a little bit from me, but not much because I'm a sucker for like trying to get the best of the best, highest version, like deluxe, go big, go home. That's kind of my thing. But having Anakin as a sculpted and then Artisan, like seeing the sculpted here next to the sculpted Anakin kind of makes sense, but I think I'll be able to get past it once I get it in hand.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I do think that the Artisan's going to look awesome. The Artisan obviously looks more realistic. Yeah. It's just, I guess...
That's the other thing, too, realism.
Yeah, we got to see how much product they're able to stick in the hair to get it tucked behind the ears just a little bit more. And like you said, in some shots, it looks very good. We looked at it. It looks awesome. We don't have to revisit it, but... The sculpted version looks excellent. It really does. I love it. I think it looks excellent.
Only other gripe, and then I'll move on, is the robe. I think in the Attack of the Clones it was darker. This is more like his Revenge of the Sith color. He had a very
let me cut you off really quick, Chris. Lane has to head out, so we'll go back to like your thought in a second. But Lane, do you have any closing thoughts for anybody? You want to share your thoughts on this Obi-Wan before we head out?
I think this Obi-Wan, is very cool. I had the Artisan in my checkout. I decided like, hey, I'm going to go eat lunch. And then it was sold out. And I was like, I guess I wasn't too in on the Artisan on this one.
Oh.
I'm kind of, I was always leaning more towards the sculpted if I was going to get it. That Vader really, as I told like Connor backstage, really sucked the air out of the room for me when I saw that for this Obi-Wan. But I still may get him. But I kind of want to see a new Revenge of the Sith one. But I don't think we're going to get that. I think this is kind of what we're getting right now.
Never seen never.
Yeah. But I might get this one so that I could have it go with, because I got Plo and eventually Kit Fisto coming. So I could kind of put the Jedi Masters together. But I still think it looks like a great figure. The hanging in the air off the droid felt like a weird inclusion for it, I guess. That to me, that was just kind of a strange decision for it.
I love
that to me felt like kind of a strange inclusion, but I was like, yeah, whatever. It's something that fits for a scene with him. So,
and you know what?
I think it's so cool.
You know what? Funny enough, you know what they reused, Lane? This was what was included with the comic Spider-Man that came with the Green Goblin. This little like tube. That's exactly what they used to mount that. So that's pretty interesting. They reused that piece for that. But
it's also for head pull too, isn't it? Head pull
as well. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, head pull has that.
Dude, how cool is it? Not enough people are talking about the seamless wrist to put them on.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. That's very clever and very non-Hot Toys like. But as of late, they've been doing some really cool stuff, man. I love to see it. Clone Trooper says maybe they threw a Revenge of the Sith cloak on this pro. I don't know. But Lane, I guess that's it for you. Lane, thank you so much for being here, my friend. It's always great to have you. And you have a great evening.
Nice streaming with you.
You too. Yes.
May the force be with you, Lane.
See you, Lane.
And make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and
yeah, guys, 74 people watching. 74 people, man.
Have a good evening.
Appreciate you. Take care, Lane.
Good night, Lane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's talk crap about Lane now that he left. The droid is really cool. No, I'm just joking. But no, the droid is awesome. I love the inclusion of that. And I was telling Chris, like, that was the first thing. Yeah, that was the first thing that I was like, dude, no freaking way did they do that. And that makes me wonder, is there potential for like a Zam Wessel or something? Like, go crazy. Why not? I think right now, as you look at this, and you're real new to collecting, and you're into Star Wars stuff, you're probably crying right now seeing this Anakin, because like, dude, they're really rubbing it in. If you didn't pre-order that Anakin, dude, they're really.
Zam Wessel has to have two sculpts having
the gross shriveled face,
the freaking dart, and then also the centipede, like the poisonous worms and you'll have them intact, and then one cut in half for when Anakin diced it up.
And like magnetic spot on her neck, so you could pull the Or even they could sculpt it in and just include an extra one, because you got to have one for Obi-Wan to have in his hand when he takes it and gets it tested to
Yeah,
see
bro.
where
There's
it's
so
from.
much they could do with that figure. There's plenty of accessories to do, like her long rifle and stuff too. Yeah.
Oh, the
So
peasant disguise Anakin, that was the other one they teased. That one's called the peasant Anakin. The other Anakin you're talking about, I think
Right.
that's when he killed the Tuskens, right? That's the outfit he was wearing when he killed the
Mhm.
Tuskens. I want that. There's so many people talking shit about
He
that.
was
I'm like,
in
dude,
he was in his normal robes when he killed the Tuskens.
so he wasn't wearing that poncho. Then what was,
No,
I
he
can't
was
remember
wearing the
else.
poncho when he was taking Anakin back to Naboo, or when they were going. Yeah, back to
Anakin was
her
taking
home.
himself back to. Oh, you're talking about Padme.
No, when
too,
they were
Padme.
traveling together with R2.
Oh, that's
when
yeah.
they were
I know what
first.
you're talking about. Sorry, you said Anakin and confused me. You said he was wearing that when he took
Right.
Anakin back to Naboo, and I was like, what is he
Oh,
talking
my
about?
bad. I meant to
You're
say
right,
when he
you're right.
took Padme. I
You're
meant to
right.
say
Okay.
Padme.
Yeah, this is definitely if you're talking about this version of Anakin, yeah, for sure. I want that version though. I would love to see that version become a thing, that because they did that version in 3.75 as well. So I hate to agree with you, but I think you're right. I think I could see that one being a limited release for sure.
So they've announced several Obi-Wans already, right? So we have the A New Hope, even the Clone Wars one, this one. So is it really just the Phantom Menace Obi-Wan that they have not announced yet?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the only one they haven't done, and in Geo, I
That's
firmly
coming,
believe
bro.
it's gonna
It's
happen.
coming.
Like,
It's coming. Sideshow did it years ago, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. We had it in the collection. It was good for what it was at its time. Like, it kind of competed with Hot Toys. This was like, we had it in 2018, 2019, but it came out before that. So it was an older fig, but it held up. For Sideshow, at least. Like, it had an LED lightsaber and everything, too. So,
Yeah, maybe
or
waiting a
button cell
year or
powered, I should say.
more. Yeah, maybe waiting a few years for the Padawan. I'm sure eventually
That's
they'll do
another
it.
artisan they could do. They could have that, like a braided hair thing.
yeah, and dude, like, please, man, Hot Toys,
Artisan
you have to do an
Qui-Gon
Artisan
has to-
Qui-Gon. The original
I'm
one, the
banking
hair is
on it,
so
bro.
bad.
That hair, bro, they could nail it.
And you know,
Yeah.
since then they've done a lot of long hair that's very posable, like Thor figures, the Jane Foster Mighty Thor, all of the newer Wanda figures.
Like, we got
Like,
Jar Jar before them. Come on, man.
yeah, so it's certainly doable. 100%, it's certainly doable. But I'm curious to look at our poll, guys. If you haven't voted in the poll yet, before we close out the stream, I definitely want to get some more votes in that poll. I mean, how many do we have right now? We have 38 votes, guys. We got to pump those numbers up. Sculpted, artisan, or both. Surprisingly, a decent percentage for both. But yeah, guys, the final like kind of topic that we're gonna end out with for the night, and I promised this earlier. What else do we want to see for the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary? Because I know a lot of people right now are probably sitting there saying, well, that's it. That's all we got. And I would say that's not true. I think there's going to be more. And whether it's, guys, whether it's
Those keep
officially...
coming back.
Yeah, whether it's officially for the 20th or if it's a little bit later after that, who knows? But I think for sure, guys, I'm going to put this out there. There's 100%. There's going to be a new Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. Like, come on now. There's no way they're not going to do a new Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. How many Obi-Wans they have done with new sculpts? Like, who's to say they won't just reuse that sculpt or tweak it? There's going to be a Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. I'm banking on that. And like I said, my want for that is, you know, USB saber, updated head sculpt, and a lava platform to be announced in tandem with a new Anakin. Because
I've said this, instead of a 2.0, I'd much rather, because, you know, I have it. Obviously, for those who don't have it, yes, I will still welcome it, and I'll probably still upgrade, but I'd really like to see even Anakin, like, their Mustafar looks.
yeah, with like the singe marks in the tunic and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, yeah, especially Obi-Wan. That's
And
such
then
a cool look.
those come with the platforms that they could fight it. Bro,
I would
that'd
be totally
sick.
cool with that. Maybe have Anakin with like a tear going down his face.
Yeah.
But another one, guys, that I would love to see, and I've mentioned this quite a few times, is Commander Gree. And like maybe a
Yep.
Revenge of the Sith Yoda, where you can have him like doing
Decapitate
a backflip,
him.
slicing that dude's head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Philly says Yoda, Dooku. Yeah, Dooku would be sick. I love the Attack of the Clones Dooku, but you know,
Only
maybe
way I get Dooku is if they do a speeder for him as well.
Bly would be cool as well. Some Wookiees, you know, There's a lot of
since
Chewbacca.
since I don't have a Yoda, I would like a Yoda from Episode 3, especially since the Palpatine that I'm gonna have, the Darth Sidious, is gonna be from the one that was announced last year, and that is the one that he's using, or that's the outfit that he's using when he's fighting Yoda.
Yeah.
So that's why I would like a Yoda. For
and like those with the Senate chairs. How sick would that be if they did like a Senate chair that you could have levitating in the air to have you? I mean, that would be massive. But dude, yeah, I think you're talking about like the Mustafar 2-pack. Yeah, that'd be fire. That'd be so fire.
Kaiju keeps saying everybody wants that Starfighter. Dude,
I know If the Starfighter came from Hot Toys, like the Jazz Inc. one, I was way priced out on that. It was just not worth it at that price. I would certainly get it, but it would just be too much, man. Clone Trooper says Saisi 10, which we did have a tease of Saisi 10, so we should see that eventually, hopefully. Ayla Secura, dude. Ayla Secura would be sick. I just love her, the contrast of her skin tone, the blue skin tone with the brown fit. I think it looks really cool. And obviously she was, especially like, you know, apart from just seeing her in the film, she was a really cool character. I felt like she kind of got done dirty in Revenge of the Sith, but she was a cool character. And even in Attack of the Clones, I feel like she didn't get much
would no one want a pregnant Padme?
I mean, I'm not lying. I would probably buy that. But no, when it comes to Padme, I'd rather have a Queen Amidala first and foremost. I have the third party one in my collection, but Queen Amidala, I would love like the battle damage Padme from Attack of the Clones, you know, with the ripped shirt and everything. I would love to see that. Another one, Shaak Ti is another great one. Shaak Ti is like one of the goats, so we got to get Shaak Ti, and that would be really cool to see. What else from Revenge of the Sith? Like Newt Gunray. I feel like I'm shocked that they haven't done a figure of Newt Gunray. Going back to like Tan B1s, they haven't done any freaking B1 battle droids. Magna Guards with the Grievous coming out. I could certainly
those
see
I would take. Sideshow did those too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could see Magna Guards for sure.
Yeah, man. I would. Yeah,
Black Chrysanthemum. Black Chrysanthemum. Yeah, the Black Chrysanthemum was one I was really hoping for. He's badass with like the shock knuckle dusters and everything, but at least I got him in 3.75 scale.
How about some younglings?
Damn, that's cold. What about the younger Jedi that like was on the platform?
Oh
fighting.
Oh, like, George Lucas's son.
That was George. I didn't know that was George Lucas's son. I never knew that. Yeah, but that would be cool too. That's never gonna happen. That's just like
the one that gets killed in front of what's his name, Organa, right?
Bail Organa.
Yeah, that's George Lucas's son.
Yeah, I never knew that. Dude, I know. I mean, you do see the Galactic Marines with Ki-Adi-Mundi, so I would love to see. Dude, I think Sideshow did a Galactic Marine, right? At some point, did they? Did Sideshow do a Galactic Marine? Or no, they did Bakara. I guess that counts, kind of. Yeah, I mean,
George Lucas in a director's chair.
We need George Lucas in disguise as the blue dude.
Before he goes to see Palpatine.
That makes me laugh every single time.
I know. We pointed that when we were in the movie. We were laughing about that.
Philly says, "Can you imagine a Padme battle damage with a pillar base and maybe the white tiger arm and a claw?" Dude, that'd be sick. That'd be so sick. What is that beast called? Is that the Nexu? What's the name of that beast that scratches her? I think it's the Nexu. It is the wow. How did I remember that?
That's crazy because I forgot that. Yeah. That thing is crazy. I would take those creatures, or even the one Anakin right? Yeah. Oh, come on, bro! It breaks my heart every time, dog.
Guys, the beast in Revenge of the Sith.
That's such a sad. That might be sadder than Order 66, to be honest.
Blast him, and he just gets shot off the wall. That is so sad, dude. When he gets just so slowly.
Bro, Cody, no hesitate. Like you got all the 501st and freaking like hesitation with Ahsoka and stuff, and like
other like
people
Rex,
and Cody's just like blast it, like instant, bro.
Yeah, that was so.
I mean, it kind of is good storytelling because it shows like Kenobi never really had that relationship like Anakin and Ahsoka did with their troops.
Yeah, Owen is always pulling these random characters out of his ass. Like I swear, he just Googles like obscure Star Wars characters. I swear, man. Yeah, I know they did the freaking Black series of that. I was really hoping Hot Toys would go along with that because they did Stormtroopers Disguise, George Lucas. They did Jon Favreau, with the you know John Favreau voice Heavy Mando. They did a Heavy Mando body with John Favreau's head sculpt. So it'd be really cool to see them do that in 1/6 scale. Yeah, Glup sheet. That's the one that frickin' Owen is always repeating.
Yeah.
all the time. Does always say, yeah, the Filoni Pilot Black Series as well. Trapper Wolf is his name. So yeah, I would really like to see that. But yeah, guys, there's a lot of really cool potential stuff for Revenge of the Sith 20th. And like I said, guys, although it may not all come out at one time, I think there's potential for a decent amount more. You just have to be patient, you know. It's not all going to come out at one time. Like I said, we do have ACG HK coming up. Obviously that's not going to be like an all Star Wars event, but I'm sure there'll be a couple Star Wars sprinkled in there. And yeah, dude, I was sad that we didn't get Zeb from his I think he's going to be in Ahsoka season 2. I think Filoni confirmed that. So maybe that'll be our chance to see a Zeb figure. Who knows? He would be pretty massive. He'd be like Chewbacca size and then some, but that'd be pretty cool. That'd be really cool. But guys, I think that's gonna start to wrap us up here. Gio, once again, dude, thanks for being on here, guys. 67 people still watching. On your way out, please consider dropping a like on the stream. I very much appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, thank you so much for always being patient when we have to take off sometimes. That's just, you know, life happens. I've had so much going on lately with my pet and just everything else going on, so I appreciate you guys being so patient. Yeah, Gio, thank you so much for being here, dude. It's great to finally have you on. You know, I've been over on your stream twice, and you've been so kind, making time for us, because I know you had to, like, take off a little bit on work and stuff, so I really do appreciate it. And, yeah, guys, if you haven't already, check out Gio. Of course, dude. Like, absolute pleasure to have you on. And guys, check out Gio's channel. Like I said, he puts so much work into it, and he does a great job over there on his channel. Has a lot of fun discussions and games and stuff like that. So, highly recommend checking out Gio over at the Movie Canon. There's a link in the description. I'm sure our awesome moderators will drop some comments as well. And Hot Toys Collector says, you know what we need? A break from Star Wars figures. Jesus. Yeah, I know you notoriously aren't big on Star Wars, but you'll get your time to shine. Maybe in 10 years you'll get those Thunderbolts figures whenever those happen. So,
although it has been feeling like we've had May the 4th for like a whole month, right?
Hey, Gio, I'm cool with that, but yeah, it does. We've been very.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
No, you're right. You were right. We've been very, very spoiled. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, check out Gio's channel. Of course, check out Collecting Madness, guys. I am now finding time. Now that it seems, you know, fingers crossed, my pet seems to be stabilizing a little bit, so I have more time to do reviews. I do still plan on doing a video on the Riley Lowe Battle Damage Goblin 2-pack. I have a lightsaber review to do. A company sent me a really cool lightsaber, like, same company that reached out to Chris, but they sent me a much cooler one. So
hey, I'm not gonna lie, it is, man. I got done.
Chris was like, I'm gonna reach out to them and tell me this. Send me another one or I'm deleting the video.
Jokingly, people, but I asked for the one they sent me in the first place, so it's partially my fault.
But yeah, so I'll be doing a lightsaber review as well, which I've done a couple in the past, but this is like a really cool lightsaber, a really fun one. But thank you so much, Kenny. I appreciate it, my friend. Everybody else for the messages and everybody in the stream tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Really fun time. And the Star Wars discussion is always great. And we, like Gio said, we've had a lot of it lately, and it's awesome because this will pass and it'll be all DC or it'll be all like random IPs, which will be a great time as well. So I'm here for it. Thank you, everybody, as always, for being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Happy Memorial Day coming up this Monday. Everybody gets a break off of work, I'm hoping. Because it seems like a universal holiday for everybody, so that's good. But yeah, it's gonna wrap it up, guys. As always, once again, if I don't see you, we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST. And guys, let's hope for something really cool to get announced either tonight or later this week. Something obscure. You know, Hot Toys, if you're listening, start getting those new Predator show announcements ready for me, because I will pre-order every single one of them. So, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Good night, everyone.